Welcome. Welcome back, my friends. I ran into this video. Pretty fucked up shit here, boy. This is Canada.
This could potentially overtake us here. This is getting a little scary. Yeah. Holy shit. Okay, got this.
So they decided to end.
Okay, y'all need to hurry up here.
And they're on pull off. They got another train coming. So they can't back up and they can't go forward. I think they all survive. Big fires, boy.
Like, seriously, we're encased in flames now.
Don't go backwards, he says, I think. Because the other train's coming.
Hello, Jody, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you there. I'm telling them you were notching up.
Yeah, this has got to move quick here. Holy crap. Oh, it's alright. This kind of burnt off, so we'll be okay now. Yeah. Shit. Oh, yeah, look over there. You guys got a light now, or what? Did you guys get that light? Oh, yeah, they're clipping. Whew! That's a meat and a half, eh?
Yo, what's good? I don't know if you've seen the fires and the smoke that's out the front of our house and our church, but I'm trying to give you a bit of a panoramic view here. But The sky is like super orange. And I was just talking to people. This is a result of like the fire. There's a number of fires burning in northwest Ontario, all around, and you can hear the fire engines going out of town right now. But apparently, the Thunder Bayites have never seen anything as bad as this. And I said, is it likely we're going to get evacuated? And they said, probably a bit overkill, but they said it hasn't happened before. But there's a bunch of fires only like 100, maybe 200 kilometers away from here. A town of Collins, I think it was called, has been completely wiped out. So it's pretty devastating. And so, anyway, it's not looking good. So please pray for the fires that they would go and that it would rain, and pray for our firefighters. The peace of the Lord be with you.
All right, let's go here. Howdy ho. Howdy ho. How are you? It looks really good. I need to do a lot of work to chunk up like that, though. I got I don't know if you good for you. I hope that's what you wanted, you know what I mean? Boy, I don't know if you've seen this video, but you know we're getting hassled by smoke, especially southern New England. But Offenheimer Ranch turned me on to this. Well, you had happy birthday all week, right? Get some cake.
Imagine being able to build an app.
I really have no more
just by thinking about
imagination
it.
left, dude.
Meet Base 44.
When I imagine it
complete
used to
AI
come true,
creation
it don't
platform.
come true now. Let me out of here, please. Watch this.
This could potentially overtake us
This
here.
isn't a
This is
fucking
getting a little
train.
scary.
This isn't
Holy
an
shit.
engine. And the freaky part about it is they're on a siding. They can't back up. They got another train coming. This is really a freaky. Oh, did you really do homemade ice cream? Nice. Sounds good. So they can't back
Okay,
up
I'll need to
because the
hurry
other
up
train
here.
will
Like,
hit them.
seriously, we're encased in flames now. Hello, Jody, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you there. I'm telling them you were notching up.
Yeah, this has got to move fucking quick here. Holy crap. Oh, it's alright. This kind of burnt off, so we'll be okay now.
It went across. Holy
Yeah.
shit.
Oh, yeah, look over there.
We were
You guys got a light now, or what? Did you guys get that light?
Here comes the other train.
Oh, yeah, they're clipping. Whew! That's a meat and a half, eh?
A meat and a half. Never heard that before. So I figured I'd show you that. I watched another one here. Shows all the wildfires. But I think what we're going to do for now is we're going to go to our weekly Friday night report in Lake Powell, Lake Mead. How's that sound? He's got a before and after picture here in the beginning. It's pretty slick. Look at this. It's like 1980s. Look at all the cars. Now watch. Boom. Deserted. All right, let's get this full screen if we can. Well, I'm glad you had a good birthday week. Oh, come on, man. Conant is burning up. That's
has
more
changed. Some places barely work the same anymore. Now, the National Park Service is spending huge money trying to keep Lake Powell accessible.
I don't
I'm going to
consider
show you
this
the old
doom
Lake
and gloom.
Powell,
I consider
the
it
Lake
weather
Powell of today,
modification.
and what they're trying to build next. Welcome to Wawweep at beautiful Lake Powell, and today I'm going to show you the changes that have been going on over here. So, let's get to it. Wawweep has grown so much over the years, and it's actually outgrown its own channel as the lake levels have dropped. You could see how much it's dropped, that actually islands are coming out of the ground. I showed that back in February. The National Park Service back in the 80s assumed that the water would stay consistent up here. We knew there would be some fluctuation, but nothing like this. So the infrastructure here is changing, and actually the National Park Service got a lot of money, and they're going to be doing some upgrades. All right, I think we're at the right spot. Let's try to do that before and after photo. This is Wawweep Resort in Castle Rock at the lower end of Lake Powell. It almost feels like a different world. When you compare it to today, you can see why Lake Powell has to change and adapt. Wawweep and Lone Rock aren't just beaches and boat ramps. There's a whole system behind these places. Water lines, sewer lines, lift stations, storage tanks. Stuff you don't think about when you
It's
come here
on
on
YouTube?
vacation. But if they fail, the Lake Powell experience becomes messy. Okay, we made it to the Wawweep Marina. And the National Park Service has this area listed as an $81.8 million project.
Holy
That's
shit.
big money. It's not just at Lake Mead, guys.
You got the link?
Oh my God. Ooh, contents are unknown. Uh-oh. Well, here's...
Susan Collins was the deciding vote for Trump's Supreme Court justices who overturned Roe v. Wade. States are banning abortion and women are dying.
I do not regret that vote.
Tell Susan Collins, stop voting for Trump's anti-choice judges.
Hi guys, I'm going to test my new zoom scope today. This monocular scope is so powerful.
Well, here's a special treat for you guys. This is the original launch ramp at Lake Powell Wawweep Marina back in the day. I have some old footage here. I still don't know who owns it, but here's the old footage for you. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Wow, old school. But the original Lake Powell Marina right there. Surprised they're not using it. I know they did back in 2023. They allowed people to launch here, but I guess not. The original launch ramp. It's going to be standing on this thing, and it's interesting. It's all blacktop. And as you can tell, it goes deeper into the water. Let's just see how much. But the white paint for the lanes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 lanes. I'm surprised how well it's actually held up over time. Majority of it doesn't seem that bad. All right, enough. Let's actually go over there. Lake Powell's water levels didn't just only drop. The lake has moved away from the stuff it was built around. So the big question in 2026 is, can Lake Powell's recreation adapt to a lower lake? Oh man, I don't know if you guys can see it on camera. If you guys come here and you see that, don't let your dogs drink it, and don't drink it as well. It could kill your dogs. But right here at Wallweep, damn, stagnant water over here. So with that algae, it's been happening year after year, but it's usually during low water years or low inflow with the river. Yeah, don't let your dogs drink that water. But here we are right here. There's the island coming out of Wallweep. They've had to move their houseboats around this thing. Sad, someone took down the American flag right after 4th of July. Come on, that's not patriotic. See if I'll walk up the dock and get a better angle of it. And you have Wallweep right behind it. It actually hasn't gone down much ever since they stabilized Lake Powell with the Flaming Gorge releases. So we're going to actually go past that island and we're going to go to the other side where the main channel is. I'll show you how much wiggle room these boats have to go through here. It's not much. God, that green algae is just everywhere around Wallweep.
I'm wondering if that's sage
algae? I don't know.
pollen.
Okay, we on ODOC. Here is the boat traffic channel past the breakwater tires. Castle Rock in the background. There's very little wiggle room right there to move. I wasn't here on the 4th of July. I was back at Lake Mead. So if you guys haven't seen that video, watch it after this one. But I would imagine it was a SHIT show to get through that with all the boat traffic through here. But there recently was an accident with a boater.
I heard that it has up here in some lakes in
Lake Powell's a scary
Maine.
lake because literally it fluctuates up and down and you never know.
But they get this algae bloom that's really toxic for dogs.
MPS got $81 million from the Great American Outdoors Act. And I don't know how much of that money is going to go towards the marina, but I know they're going to upgrade Wallweep and Lone Rock, which we'll go check out Lone Rock later.
Look at that. You want to see that again?
Check out the restaurant up there.
I like watching them before and after.
But I know they're going to upgrade Wallweep and Lone Rock, which we'll go check out Lone Rock later.
Boom. Now you can walk to it.
Okay, let's actually go check out the restaurant up there. There's some shots I want to get to show you the difference between a high lake and a low lake. Most badass car in the parking lot.
I went and picked up a couple
All right, we made it to the hotel. There's a view of Wallweep's launch ramp. Definitely
lottery
water,
tickets
it goes
for
up
us.
And up and up. Let's go around the corner and see if I can get my shot.
But I didn't get the right ones.
All right, we made it to the overlook behind the Rainbow Room, right over here. Let's see if we can get some shots. A full Lake Powell had an incredible view.
You get
water
that toxin?
Miles.
I never heard of it before.
The story is different. The lake and its landscape are still beautiful, but the facilities here don't work the way they used to. There is the Wallweep launch ramp, and this is the view of Wallweep Bay as of July 9th, 2026. More hazards coming out of the water. You have a baby one right there. Then a peninsula coming out right on Antelope Island below Castle Rock where those boats are. Then that houseboat over there is in the Castle Rock Cut channel. And there is the Castle Rock Cut. I'll try
but I don't know how to operate it.
But it goes further into Warm Creek Bay over there.
I thought I said Powerball,
the tamarisk tree is where they start, and when they go all the way down is where the water used to be for Wallweep Bay. And this gives you an example.
I think she was a new girl there.
In 1983, the water would have been actually below this hill where I'm standing.
Had a good conversation with this fella.
I'd literally be able to dive into the lake from here. Really hope those photo comparisons give you an idea of how much water is
credit
gone
card
from
machine
Lake
is so
Powell. It's
tiny.
Insane. Wallweep launch ramp down there. You can see the cars and where people have to walk down to the docks. It's a good pickup spot if you're getting picked up from somebody on a boat. Let's actually go to the bottom of the launch ramp and check it out. Even the government docks are part of this. The National Park Service has the Wallweep government docks listed as a $10 million project. It shows that the people running the lake have to move and rebuild their own access. So this is Wallweep's main launch ramp here. We've got the MPS government docks behind us. Not only Wallweep as a whole, but the MPS government docks here are actually getting an upgrade too. $10 million. I don't know if that's specifically just for Wallweep and also for Bullfrog. I'm not too sure about that, but $10 million
docks
are
are
going
already
to the government
built.
docks for the National Park Service. This is an easy access point. You just park your car over there, then already got people on the beach. It looks like this is the new swim beach over here. Hey, if it works, it works. People can actually come down here compared to the Wallweep swim beach, that old one. You have to walk literally like a mile. But people enjoying themselves here. Summertime, low water levels. Looks like we still have some green algae here. We got to be careful. especially with people and their dogs. They should really put up signs for the green algae. Just my thought is just
Yeah, I
people
think you
don't know about
should.
that stuff. Blue algae,
Especially
God,
in
you
a
can mix it up,
pot.
but whatever, it looks green. Oh, we got someone with an e-foil. Is that? Oh, it is. It's e-foil Lake Powell, everybody. Let's try to go say hi. Yeah, I'm kind of concerned about people swimming in here with that algae. Well, 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 it's e-foil Lake Powell in the flesh. Indeed. The man himself is here, e-foil Lake Powell. I'm just going out for a surf and fly sesh before work. It'd be pretty cool if you could use the dock that's over there, actually. You know, like the old Wall-Weep dock over there. Yeah, I actually did a video a while back over there. I took a magnet trolley over there and kind of cleaned it up as kind of an icebreaker to express my suggestions and desires to reopen the Wall-Weep Auxiliary Legacy Ramp like they had opened previously about 5 years ago or so. It would help relieve a lot of pressure off of the ramp at State Line Auxiliary like we saw during 4th of July, particularly on the 5th when everyone was leaving at the same time. Me, I like to use e-foils, so if you have any kind of hand portable craft or toy, need a stand-up paddleboard, a kayak, an e-foil, an e-surf craft, you can use that to have fun anytime, even, you know, before or after lunch in your boat. Oh, there he goes. E-foil Lake Powell in the flesh.
Oh,
ladies
it's an
and gentlemen, and there he
electric.
goes.
Ride like Superman.
Look at that.
Well, it's nice to see another Lake Powell videographer out here. Well, he's not wrong, literally talking about the ramp we were just at. I don't know why they're not using it right now. And there he goes, off into the wild. Be free. Okay, let's make a quick trip to Lone Rock.
I need to publicly apologize to anyone who's ever bought a
They
fruit and
stopped this
vegetable
commercial off with, we're going to publicly
from our
apologize.
videos because I lied.
The Russians
Yes,
are going
it's
to
true that
kill
our pod
us
pressure
for our
cases
top secret
built
vegetable
with real grade
cleaning
1 titanium
device.
electrodes that turn ordinary tap water.
I never been on one. Probably never will. Used to fly a parafoil.
All right, we
with
made
a
it to
mountain
Lone
board,
Stone. Lone Stone, here we are.
I took the brakes off it, so I gotta have a real steady wind or I get hurt. A mountain board.
Again, I hope those before and after shots showed you how much water was
Mine's
here at Lone
about
Rock.
wiped
Look
out.
at that nice and green area down there. Wow. But it's tamarisk trees and tumbleweeds. The first
It's just
things
a
to grow when the lake
fun
level
memory.
drops. Sucks. Back in 2021, 22, and 23 when the lake
But
dropped
I used
hard,
to get a lot of
the
exercise
tamarisk trees
on it,
grew,
and I'm telling
and
you,
the lake
50,
came
60
back.
miles an
In the
hour
summer
on
of
that
2023, it
on
buried all those
pavement
trees, but you can see they're
down
dead
at
over
a
there.
park
And
in
that's
the
what's going to
winter.
happen over here. This area here will have tumbleweed central, then literally tamarisk trees popping out.
Oh.
All right, there's where Lake Powell is touching Lone Rock Beach. Got some campers down there enjoying the best spot on the beach. Then we have an empty Lone Rock. Unfortunately, the tourists have gone home. Sad. You guys should be hanging out more. This is the best time to come. No one's here. Okay, since we're here at Lone Rock, I want to show you one more spot that a lot of people bypass these days.
I don't know if you remember that video we watched of guys
These are the original
paragliding
Lone Rock vault toilets. The full pool level would have been right here.
from
So that gives you an
Montana
example
to Las
how
Vegas.
dramatic Lone Rock has changed over the
Well,
years.
anyways, when
It
he got to
dropped.
Wendover,
So
I
believe it
had
or not,
trouble
these vault
flying
toilets
there,
are a symbol
and they
of
couldn't
how
figure
much
it
the water
out.
has
And
gone
he told
down
me
over the
what it
years.
was.
We will see what happens, but the Park
It's
Service is
called
going to be upgrading
coptering.
a lot of stuff. $80 million is a
Where
lot of
the
money.
winds
Okay,
come
let's
off
go
a
to
mountain,
antelope.
and they
Sorry.
start coptering, and so my kite's really pulling me,
Okay,
and
I
then
lied. I wanted
nothing.
to show you one more spot.
Sometimes fall to the ground, and that wasn't very good. At just riding the board like down a hill or something. No, I wasn't good at
All right,
that.
let's keep moving. Antelope Point public launch ramp might be the best example of a
Same
needed
with
change. This used to
skiboarding,
be one of the big
snowboarding.
access points here on Lake Powell, but right now, the public ramp is only open to paddlecraft. The National Park Service is looking at an $81 million proposed project. This should extend the ramp or at least cut it down into the deeper main channel canyon. The new ramp could work at a water level of 3,520 feet above sea level. They're not just fixing the old Lake Powell, they're preparing for a lower one. Okay, we made it to Antelope. I think the kayak company started giving people bags for their poop. If you don't know what I'm talking about, the last time I went into Antelope Canyon.
Oh, that was horrible. Do you remember that?
This is the end of the Antelope Point public
All
ramp.
these tourists take these people in this canyon, and they don't take a shit right there. And they don't bag it up. They don't do nothing with it. Toilet paper everywhere, shit everywhere.
So the last time water was here was in
Unbelievable.
2024. It was actually touching the launch ramp. So in 2 years, it's dropped this much, 60 feet.
And in a way, I
So the
blame the
National
Park
Park
Service for
wants
not
to
bringing
extend or create a
porta-johns
new
down
Antelope
here.
ramp. I'm not too sure what it is, but their estimate is $81 million to get access back to Antelope here. $81 million for a ramp. Kayakers are going down for free. Antelope is a very important spot because it's literally a main channel ramp, and it's easier to get further up lake compared to low access at Wahweap like we saw. They would feel bad for the people climbing up this thing at the end of that 2-mile excursion into Antelope Canyon.
Shit.
Their arms are tired, and their legs are going to be tired going up this. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, there's your perspective there. Water line up 60 feet. So the launch ramp is on top up there. Then the kayakers have to go down here. Uh-oh. What happened to that guy? Towing him in? Uh-oh. Lost hiker. Well, that was supposed to hold the breakwater that's no longer there. They've moved those, definitely. There's the kayak bros over there. Then the launch ramp right above them. And everybody has to climb this big-ass hill. The old Lake Powell was built around high water. And now, the National Park Service is having to adjust to a lake that's always changing. Lake Powell isn't gone, but the old version of Lake Powell is fading.
Not too bad,
A full
though.
Lake Powell has only been seen by a select few people of the past. And those before and after photos show the real story. Lake Powell hasn't just been dropping. It's been changing everything around it. And now, everybody who uses it has to change with it. If you made it this far, you're amazing. Like and subscribe and go check out my other videos, guys. I just got back from Yuma, got stopped by Border Patrol trying to film some dams down there, so go check those out when you have a second. But this is Lake Powell. We're in July 2026. The lake has been somewhat stabilized because of the releases from Flaming Gorge, and the National Park Service is preparing to spend big dollars out here to fix a lot of the problems that have been going on with low lake levels. So something's going on around here. Lake Powell 2026. I'm out here for you guys.
Were you here for that one?
So like and subscribe, guys. We're going to go up and
He
down the
wanted to
Colorado
follow
River.
the Colorado-
As I've shown you with the lower
Colorado.
basin states at Hoover Dam and Yuma, Arizona. And we're going upper basin here soon. So stick around. Watch my other stuff. Like and subscribe. Down the Colorado River. As I've shown you with the lower basin states at Hoover Dam and Yuma, Arizona. Then we're going upper basin here soon.
Amazing.
So stick around. Watch my other stuff. Like and subscribe, guys. Hope to see you again soon. Peace out.
Yeah, he went right up to the fence and told the guy what he was doing. Didn't bust his balls.
My Blue Gold just kicked in. Sir, that is always...
They were always down there. They had blimps in the sky. They literally had blimps in the sky, believe it or not. So we usually don't go to something like this, but I thought this was quite interesting. It's about the new way we're going to have to shop for in a grocery store. Quite interesting. If we can get this set up. I find it amazing, you know, they'll spend $1,000 or $2,000 or $3,000 on one of these shopping carts, but the fucking people are still making like minimum wage money. It's so unfair.
A store that gives
Look
you
at this.
free money to shop. Well, hold up.
You got 4 sensors, one here, and 2 in the front here.
Literally the price. I picked this up, had it in my hands, was looking at it, and the price.
Oh my God. Over the last couple of months, grocery
Price
stores have been
changed.
quietly rolling out new ways to make you overspend and
So these
even collect
electronic,
your personal data without ever asking you for
which are
permission.
really kind of
Patrol
mind
First Clip.
blowing.
Grocery stores just officially started rolling out a
brand new AI grocery cart that has cameras on it that watches every single thing that you grab and tracks every single aisle that you walk down. These are actually Instacart's caper carts, and they've got a camera not only pointed directly at your basket, but also another one facing right at you, plus scales and location tracking built right into the handle. These carts or buggies are already in over 100 cities across 15 different states right now in stores like Kroger, ShopRite, and Wegmans. They're saying that these carts...
You just call it Wegmans and not Wegmans. Only true upstate New York people know what I'm talking about.
Everything that you put in it and tracks your exact spot in the store the entire time that you're shopping. Brands like General Mills are currently paying to give you ads the second that you grab something or walk past the aisle, and it runs on AI that's trained on 1.6 billion different grocery orders. Then people asked Instacart how long they keep the footage, whether or not it's running facial recognition on you or not, and then whether you can turn it off and still use the cart, but they wouldn't answer any of it. Hello. So happening right now, they are literally putting cameras on your face at the grocery store that knows what you buy, where you stood, and how you reacted to every single ad. But nobody's going to tell you where that's going.
You ever
See, what
seen
you guys
them?
have to realize is that at some point, your data...
You ever seen them guns at self-checkout? Or even if you went to regular checkout and you get a bag of food or something, dog food, the lady comes over with this gun thing and scans the barcode. I don't remember how many years, 5 years. I think it was before Corona Bona. They started putting them in the shopping carts at our Walmart. And they had some chick, "Hi, sir, would you like to try this?" Okay. I don't know what that means. But anyway, I says, "No, I think I'm just going to be the traditional way." She didn't give me no shit about it. But I started talking to her, and I'm like, how many of these get taken out of the building? You know? How many people, go throw the thing in back of some cereal boxes or something?
Way more valuable to these stores than the actual cash in your wallet. On the surface, I know these AI carts might seem great because they're helping you find items in the stores, telling you about coupons you might have missed, and even promising to make your checkout seamless because they value your time. They're trying to make you think that this new AI cart is just there to lend a hand. But let's be real. Nobody is this nice unless they want something from you. And in this case, it's your data.
A store that gives you free money to shop? Well, hold up.
You got 4 sensors, one here, and 2 in the front here. As you put items in, it'll scan the barcode for you.
Notice there's no place for a kid anymore.
As promised, I got my $10 off to use on my next shopping trip. And I even saved $20.86.
They've even gotten to the point that they're bribing you. That is how desperate they are for your information. This just proves how little your cash actually matters to them compared to the gold mine of your personal data. And the craziest part to me is people are happily handing over their privacy for pennies on the dollar, and half them...
Boy, a small stun gun, I think you could finish that thing off.
Just you.
And be sneaky about it.
On base 44. Describe it.
So, like when they make this mandatory, I think the new deal,
$10 because they're
somebody who's got an SUV has your fold-in shopping cart. Bring their own shopping cart into the store.
As find even better
What do you
ways
think of
to
that?
get you to overspend.
Build
Anyways,
fold-in shopping carts that go up in the back of an SUV.
Finding free food hacks
Get there, you pull it out, you hit one lever, and
I recommend you check that episode out. And if you guys want to get
pull it
featured
apart
in the
and
next episode,
go
definitely make sure to
shopping.
drop your thoughts on this insanity down below. Those touchscreen shopping carts have your bank and credit card information. If you fail to return it and secure it and it gets damaged, I bet you'll end up paying for that card.
Oh, that's a good point.
Honestly, I think that's probably the least of your worries considering how much money they're going to make off your personal data.
Watch this.
Oh my gosh, this is even crazier.
So I don't think there's a place for a kid anymore.
I mean, this is cool, but
they
it's
realize
crazy.
Nobody's getting married and having babies, I guess.
Look at how simple it looks.
There's one in here that really kind of mind-blowing.
It's all one big illusion to make it seem like shopping is easy, when in reality they're rolling out different ways to make you overspend. I was gonna say, like,
Did you have a
for
good day
Instacart to
today?
be spending
Weather
this
pretty good?
much money on their shopping carts, like to create one, is kind of insane. But there's that whole AI digital feature. You don't even have to scan it. You just place it in the cart. This is a much easier way to roll it out across the country. You know what I mean? Because you're just attaching a mount to your traditional shopping cart, and then they just have this tablet that attaches to it that they can, leave in the store. It takes up less space, and it has all the same features. The only difference is you're scanning your item yourself instead of it, doing it by itself, putting it in a cart. So let's see what the comments have to say about this. The amount of money I'd save is crazy, which is interesting. As an introvert, I'd love this. Walmart needs these. So good to know we're trying to give people more jobs and increase the employment rate. So I actually think this is going to make people spend even more money, not actually save money. Yes, it alerts you to coupons, but it's probably coupons to things you were never going to purchase to begin with. Oh no, the digital tags. Who knows about the digital tags at Walmart? This is another crazy way we're going in the future.
What if people start stealing them? They only snapped on the shelf, from what I see.
It just changed. Right there. Oh, there's another one. Doing that so they can change the prices on things without workers, meaning they will need less workers. We're focused on the wrong thing here. Even like the last person said that we're going to have less cashiers now from all this AI and digital advancement. I understand we're going to lose less workers from it, but it's more sinister than that. It's the fact that now Walmart has the ability to change prices instantly. Now let you guys in on a little secret.
Yeah, but I'd let you in a little secret. Not everyone lives in New York.
Ever since they switched to this new pricing system, I buy far less clothes because I can never find the price of whatever it is I'm looking for, and then I have to pull out my app in order to scan it to figure out what the price is, and that's enough for me to just not buy it.
The craziest thing is I just went into Walmart after months. It's been months since I stepped foot in there, and that's actually what inspired me to make this video, was seeing how everything was changed to this digital pricing now. But to go back to what she said about scanning it on her phone on the website to see what the price is, I can't begin to tell you how many times I have scanned certain things at stores, Walmart, even Home Depot, and it's cheaper on the app. And when I show them at the register, they say, oh, that's only if you purchase it online. Someone in the comments says, Walmart employee, we hate it too. In fact, I'll let you in on a secret. The reason they changed to digital is so they can change the price of an item while it's in your cart. And when you're at checkout and go, wait, it was this price when you saw it. Well, now
so
the
if
price
5 people happen to buy a loaf of this oat bread, whatever it is, and it was at $4, and you get up and it rings up at $4.25, now that's legal. Dirty fucking Jewnomics, baby. That's all this is. Holding on to the Federal Reserve.
So
this is all it is.
It. Honestly, I'd boycott Walmart at this point, and I work there.
So literally the price. I picked this up, had it in my hands, was looking at it. This light turned green and the price changed.
Hey, before you skip this ad, this is John Ossoff in Georgia.
Right.
And I'm the only Democratic U.S.
But you want a Flatlander, boy. We don't talk to Flatlanders up here. We ignorant to anyone that ain't from Maine. Fuck you. Get off my screen.
I can't imagine that. It's getting to a point you pick something up in your hand and the price is changing. Now, I don't think the technology is there yet where it knows that you're looking at the specific product, and it can change the price, but it's just the concept that is the way we're going. Dynamic pricing should be illegal, should not be allowed to change prices during business hours when customers are in the store. That's actually a very interesting point. The cameras saw your face and read your profile and gave you the price it thinks you're willing to pay. Very interesting.
Regional grocery chain Wegmans is defending its use of facial recognition technology in its stores after shoppers noticed signs posted outside a New York City location. The sign warned that the company would collect and store biometric information on customers, including facial recognition,
they're not even
eye
hiding
scans,
it
and
no
voice
more.
prints. According to Wegmans, they have launched these facial recognition cameras in a small fraction of their stores to identify individuals who have previously been flagged for misconduct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wegmans said
Always a bad
keep
guy.
their stores safe
1
and
out of
secure,
30
but do
million.
not collect voice prints or retinal scans.
I understand that in certain places, maybe people are stealing or getting trespassed and they want to be alerted. You know, theft prevention of when that person enters the store, it's probably a little bit easier. I get it, but we are just walking a really fine line with what they could be doing with all this
Balancing
information.
on a razor blade.
Take a look at this right here. They're going to be transitioning, which they've already started in Kroger's, ShopRite, some Aldi's throughout the country. They're going to be
If you're
changing
bored with
and
this, let me know.
transitioning completely into AI grocery carts, meaning they're going to be scaled.
There's one here.
For money. And
I don't like.
Are you going to send me the link to your brother's video?
You see what I'm saying here?
Downloading. It's like they're basic. Well,
This is all but not in
and
the
that's honestly
Federal
getting to a point
Reserve.
where I need.
Unlike the local police department, Lowe's doesn't publish its logs. It doesn't say who's got access to its data. It's collecting a database of every single car that enters its lot, and the public has absolutely no idea what it's doing with that data. It's just one of thousands of flock safety cameras around the country.
Why does Lowe's need a flock camera of all stores?
Not operated by public agencies that must answer to their constituents, but by private companies, meaning they could act as a backdoor for ICE to surveil the movements of Americans, even in non-cooperative states and municipalities.
It's not even just that. They're having a field day with the amount of data and everything they're collecting from you. It's getting out of control, and it's only a matter of time before grocery stores and all these other private companies start putting these AI. For those that don't know, flock cameras are AI. They can tell so much
what I'm asking
by
you.
how you're driving, how fast
I'm asking
you are.
you, did you send it to my email? You're going to post it in here?
Left of your car,
Or we're not going to see it?
It's insane. Car manufacturers are too busy trying to steal your data to actually make a car that works.
Congratulations, you're moving to the next level. Your next opponent is you.
That's the same exact price. I gotta pause it. $496 was $786. And now it's on rollback for $496 when it was also $786. So they're just, what was just discounted, they're now saying was rollback, or this is just the more upgraded version of it. I mean,
I'm shocked is the price tag still in the back.
It really is a shame.
If that's an electronic tag.
Because at one point I see how well it can advance society, but on the other end,
I'm surprised they didn't remove that first.
It can be with collecting all this information about you. Actually, before I forget, I don't know if some of you have seen in the background, but we actually check this bad boy out.
You think I'll ever get one, Leslie?
Shit, the 100K play button. It finally came in, and it is so surreal to have this in my hand that we've actually managed to grow the channel to over 100,000 subscribers. We're going to make sure that every single person.
You think I'll get my 100,000 plaque?
Make sure that you are.
We got a ways to go, you know.
And I've even found out that YouTube's doing this whole hype creator.
I got this.
2026 all price tags, and that also means. So if you're unaware,
I'll keep using that emoji.
Prices.
I just want to get to the one before we leave.
Don't worry,
with the gal.
I feel like
she puts an onion.
It is.
She takes the tag off of the onion so there's no barcode. She puts it on the scale, and the friggin' computer knows it's a... I don't know what you're trying to sell here, dude. You gotta do a better job than that.
I'm at Walmart.
Oh, watch
I tried
this.
this thing because I didn't feel like looking. I'm not gonna feel like looking this up either. I'm gonna take the sticker off, matter of fact. So let me show you how Walmart got AI.
All right, so she took this sticker off.
Alright, so I'm gonna act like I don't know the numbers. So I'm gonna look up items. And look what they tell y'all. Let's see what they come up with for the AI. Crazy,
Yeah, that's nuts.
Whole Foods just got
When I was at Walmart and that happened, I like jumped. I was like, where are
I
they
have
watching
not
me?
seen
How
that
in
yet.
the world did they know that? So not only was I impressed, I was just like blown away. Here's like a good example
I
of
don't think anybody
possibly
up here really
using
wanted to
AI
use
to help
those
people out at the
store
expense of your
guns.
own data.
Whole Foods just got a new self-checkout cart, and
They had to
try it
go
out for the
put
first time today. So to start shopping, you decide to
the holder for the gun
Or
on every shopping cart too.
now we just go shopping. You also get a store map, and then you could search items here.
What was weird about this is they give you 2 bags, so evidently you got to pay for the bags.
So it
You
asks
can't bring
you
your own
if
bag
it
in.
is a container. I'm not going to put it in a container. Oh, so you put it here, and then you click.
Did it just weigh his drink?
Really cool.
Yeah, it looked like it weighed his drink too.
You better hope.
Now let's try this whole.
They better be recalibrating and testing those scales like every day, because I can very easily see them accidentally.
I find it
weighing
funny. You know
too
what I
much
find
and
funny about it
overcharging.
is the way Americans are. You know, they don't have a cup holder place somewhere. So this guy had his wet, drippy cup on the scale. It's going to be nice for the next person.
Find feature. Like it tells me where I am. So let's say I want to find quiche. So does it tell me where?
Find shit.
I do. It's cool. So you just walk through the line. It processes your payment on file.
Crazy.
And you're good to go. I think it's really cool. It saves you time because you're always going to put your products into your cart. So why not just pay for it and then you can just walk out? You don't have to do the second step of going to the actual counter.
Yeah, but how do they
check
know
out.
you didn't throw something in the cart?
They'll tell you where to go.
That one don't have
The worst
cameras
part about
on the
this
cart.
is they have now. We talk about this all the time on the channel. Removing friction to paying is how people end up overspending. It's the one way that makes people really spend all of their money. So it's gotten to the point now where you don't even have to take out your wallet or your phone or anything. You literally just walk out and it processes the payment and you're done. You just click OK and that's it. You're being charged for whatever else is there.
I miss the days when the chick went food shopping. Hey, she brought the wrong shit and I bitch. All right. Let me get you send it to email, I guess. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You know. Nothing come yet. We'll go read IT while we're waiting for that to come in. See what's going on. Bush, the scumbag destroyed, killed a bunch of civilians on civilian bridges. Wow. Somebody blew up a bomb in Monaco. I don't know if you know Monaco, when they do the Formula One race. That's like its own country. I don't think it is France. I think it's its own country. And billionaires. It's crazy. One time when we was watching America's Cup, Emperor Subaru. If we didn't get it, I'll go look that up. Emperor Subaru. 2 helicopters. I think a 30 or 35-foot Boston whaler for shore boat, 2 of them. There you go, raping a minus. Modeling boss. Israel planning to use crocodiles to guard Palestinian inmates. These fucking barbaric bastards. I wish fucking China go in there and fucking rip them right the fuck up. Evacuate everyone on cargo ships. Take them out to sea and sink them. Family camping trip. I got it. Ain't gonna make you sad, is it? All right, let's try to get this big screen going. Wow. Who put this title in? Who did that? Oh, this was off a film?
You know, there's a site over there now open. You filming? Yeah. Yeah, I am. Quit it before I knock you.
Is this real or did you make this with AI?
Precious commodity.
I was only joking.
Right now with it. Dude, get that stuff away from me. With those guns. Do that. Get that cancer stick away from me. You move. I was here first. Cool. One more question. What's that? He's got another vehicle, so he's like
What, he brought a fire pit? What was that? The camp host? Camp owner?
I know that's just a camera, it's not a video.
Well, he didn't look too enthused.
This is going on YouTube. Big fucking hog. This is going on YouTube. This is the bog one. My motherfucker's gonna be cooking some steaks. Fucking clear, I'm gonna throw you in. All these heat guns.
Who's doing the filming?
Oh, see that?
What? I don't have anything to throw. Riding on a golf cart, 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 riding on a golf cart.
No drivers under 21.
Wow, what the hell in the campground? They give you a golf cart?
It's barely pulling us up this fucking hill. That's a wire raft. Steve, shut up. Look at that view.
That's a big ass climb, man.
But it's pulling us. Oh, there's they got one for each level. They got a couple for each level. Yeah. Woo! Riding on a golf cart, riding on a golf cart. This fucker's running out of fuse.
It looks like it'd be
Making it up
fun.
this one. Riding on a golf cart, riding on a golf cart, riding on a golf cart.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's a nice little go-kart track there for running around.
I think so. Riding on a golf cart.
No way.
What's up here? What are we doing now? We got a laundromat.
Yeah.
We got a Lake Tustis Park sign. We got a thank you. Thank you. Please come back.
It's a
We'll grab
lot
another
different.
cart when it goes faster.
Did
Right
you?
on, go kart. Right on, go kart. Ooh.
A lot different than my camps.
Right on, go kart.
So you park your car up here. Wonder why they do that.
Can't really tell, I think. But it's. Look at these golf carts. They'll suck. Too fast for you.
You're sleeping in the truck. I said, yeah, well, we got a camp.
Boy, I wonder how many times they pull the wheels off and check the brakes on this son of a bitch. This is a pretty big steep downhill.
Right on a golf cart part 2.
Okay, watch this. We're going to do a Thelma and Louise.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, all right.
Right on golf cart part 2.
That movie. They go off the cliff at the end.
Well, I haven't seen the movie, but I know that part.
And they hold hands and they drive the car right off the cliff.
Right on golf cart part 2.
You got fucked.
Oh. Right on golf cart part 2. Right on golf cart part 2.
By motorhome there. They're pretty steep, boy. Look at that big behemoth.
Tomorrow we'll just tour. Where do we park it when we're done?
Damn.
All right, thanks.
Right there. Big time.
You got video or camera?
They got 4 motors on this thing. Oh, it's like a pontoon boat.
There's the slide way up there. See the slide? I call that the slide. There's Indian Camp right there. Then we go into the Narrows. Well, that's where we're going to start fishing. See,
Caught some fish.
Oh, this is a campground cleaning station.
No hose. It's right there.
Damn. Guts everywhere. They get raccoons in here. Yeah.
We're going fish.
Maybe because of all the activity, maybe.
Down until it was like that. I don't know. Evidently I didn't. Just try. Well, then we better go do it again. Doesn't know how to work a camera. Come on, I'll go walk down there with you. We can get in and get by the boat. Maybe push it if it's still going.
you know that paddle boat passed us last night about 10:30, and then I was going to try and grab it, and as soon as we went down there, then the wind took it and it went that way. But then obviously this morning when we all woke up, it shifted. Where was it? Happy. It was. They were going for breakfast.
Oh, the whole video?
Here. Why's the little light on?
Because now you're recording.
Well, I didn't touch nothing.
No, when it's like that.
It's recording. Now, how do you turn it off?
Press it again.
Oh, you're recording. Go. There's Blake getting in the golf cart. There's the garbage. Here's the garbage man of Lakesome Tuscus. Here comes Blake in his golf cart. He's been Mario Andretti all week. Come back! Wash your hands. Here it comes.
Did he?
See you later, man. See you next year.
We're leaving.
So how far is this from your place? That's one hell of a steep climb coming out of there, I'll tell you that much. Mind me driving up the mountain for 8 miles. Oh. Nice sage. Well, that's a hell of a fence on the other side of the road. Goes on quite a ways.
Christ. I left my friend
Bend
a
area.
fucking Gatorade on the bumper. I wonder if it's still there.
Get out and look. Going home.
God is great. He is good. People are crazy.
You put it in your share list so you have it. If you want to see it again.
This is Pelton, remember?
Pelton Dam?
Pelton Park, yeah.
Pelton Park.
It's like driving into Anderson Reservoir, where we went on that adventure with Curtis. More of that fencing. What the fuck is that fencing? I've never seen anything like this. Is it military? What was all that fencing? Zero thumbs up. Damn. Any comments? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Yeah, good watch, dog. Very proud of Lady Baby. I don't remember. Why, that is weird, man. I only seen stuff like that on like military. Whoa, you are such a good watchdog. Yeah, I heard you. Well, I gave it a thumbs up. No comments. 40 views 2 years ago. Wow. I know. I don't think we're going to go down there. It's going to be brutal with mosquitoes. And we'll see. We'll see. Oh, man. Oh, she's so excited. What else we got here? That's about it. Though we get a few people jump in here. Let's go see what I can find. Want to go a little longer? What time is it? Oh, America's on fire. I got 66, 75 inside. Get her a kiddie pool, but I don't have. I wish I could get.
Man, this right here is probably one of my
I
favorite.
wish I could get her a kiddie pool, but
this is probably what
you don't have outside water.
Competitor.
I'm not gonna say I've been. That's been on my list of things to do. Josh got one.
In Manitoba, the first people killed by wildfire in the province's recent memory. 2 provinces have declared states of emergency. Tens of thousands.
Yeah, the Indian reservations are
More
going.
than 700 fires are now burning beyond anyone's control. The smoke has fouled the air over 100 million people and crossed an entire ocean to Europe. And the hardest part to accept is that this is a below-average season, with the country's forecasters warning the worst stretch has not yet arrived. Here's what's driving it and what happens next. Canada is on fire in more than 800 places at once. As of yesterday, roughly 857 active wildfires were burning.
Wow, I didn't realize there was that many along the border. A couple here close to me.
Speech. It is a formal designation, and it means exactly what it sounds like. These fires are not being contained, not being steered, not being held at a line. They are doing what they want across thousands of kilometers of northern forest, and about 60 of them are large enough or dangerous enough to have full crews thrown directly at them. On a single day during this mid-July stretch, 21 new fires ignited. That is nearly one new fire an hour on top of the hundreds already burning. The season total tells you how fast this built. Since the start of the year, there have been about 3,137
I've been meaning to get one.
And they have burned through roughly 1.4 million hectares.
I'm not very good.
About 3.5 million acres of land. Those are the kinds of numbers that would define a bad year almost anywhere else on Earth. And here's the part that should get your attention, because it is the thing that changes this from a news story into a warning. By the standard that scientists actually use to rank fire seasons, this one is not even a record. It is below average. The word uncontrolled deserves one more beat because it is easy to read past. Firefighting agencies do not get to fight every fire. When hundreds of them are burning at once across terrain with no roads, no water source, and no way to land equipment, crews are forced into triage. They defend the fires that threaten towns and lives, and they let the ones burning in empty backcountry run, because there is physically no way to reach them. So, out of control does not always mean the situation is being ignored. Often, it means the fire is somewhere a human being simply cannot get to with a hose and a bulldozer, and the only thing that will stop it is a change in the weather. When more than 700 fires carry that label at the same time, it tells you the system has been overwhelmed by sheer numbers. The comparison is worth sitting with for a moment. At this exact point last year, in 2025, Canada had recorded fewer fires, 2,913, but those fires had already burned about 4.6 million hectares. That is more than 3 times the area that has burned so far in 2026. So this year has more ignitions and far less scorched ground, which puts the 2026 season below the 5-year average for area burned. On paper, this is a quieter year. That is the whole problem in a single sentence. If this is what a below-average season looks like, 2 provinces shut down, the military deployed, civilians dead, and a smoke plume crossing an ocean. Then the ceiling has not been tested. Environment and Climate Change Canada is forecasting above average temperatures across much of the country from now into August, with dry conditions continuing in places like Manitoba and northwestern Ontario. British Columbia, Alberta, and the Northwest Territories are flagged for the highest ongoing risk.
British Columbia, that's usually,
this season started
I
slowly,
think that's North America's only rainforest.
What you're watching right now may be the
I
opening
think it
act,
runs
not the finale.
into,
To understand what a real blow-up year looks like,
I think it
you
runs
only have to look
into
back a couple of summers.
Washington State.
In 2023, Canada had its worst fire season in recorded history, more than double the previous record for area burned. And it was the season that turned the sky over New York City an apocalyptic orange for days. One of the most
Well, you know, I caught that video.
Then 2025
I should rename that video Canadian Fire Smoke, because I really didn't even know it was happening.
Sitting behind the current one. And it is the reason forecasters are not treating a below average July as reassuring. It is the low end of a range that now has a very high top. The concern is not that 2026 already matches 2023.
Well, I think Doug and Stacy,
at least not yet. The concern is how quickly a below average season can flip once the heat and dryness arrive on the schedule the forecasters are describing. Two provinces have already given up the pretense that this is manageable. Manitoba declared a province-wide state of emergency, with officials describing the wildfire activity as unprecedented and the majority of the province sitting under extreme fire danger. Saskatchewan followed with its own state of emergency. Both crews and military forces were pushed forward to fight dozens of out-of-control fires. A state of emergency is not a symbolic gesture. It unlocks powers a government does not use lightly, the authority to order evacuations, to commandeer resources, to move people against their will because the alternative is worse. The reason those powers matter is that the fires have started to cost lives, not just property. 4 people have died during firefighting operations this season, and in the small town of Lac-du-Bonnet, Manitoba, 2 civilians were killed, reported as the first civilian wildfire deaths.
I'm probably going to get fired for this, but
you're going to get fired. You should be. For putting a commercial together like this to sell us stupid bullshit.
Yes, it's true that our PodFresh device is built with real grade 1
you should check it out.
That
you know, we can check it out if you want. If you got one that was quite interesting, not too long.
Wildfire has historically meant a hard summer, a forced evacuation, maybe a lost
40
cabin
minutes.
Or a lost home. It has not meant residents dying. That line has now been crossed.
You know,
that falls, it reframes everything.
I really like that Murphy's diesel.
The presence of the military tells you something too. Armed forces are not wildfire specialists. The government does not call them in for a normal season. They get deployed when the civilian firefighting system runs out of capacity. When there are more fires than there are crews, more evacuations than there are buses, more remote communities cut off than local resources can reach. In this case, soldiers were helping move people out of communities that had no other way to leave. When you see the Army assisting in evacuation, that is the clearest possible sign that the ordinary machinery for handling a fire season has been stretched past its limit.
Is well raised.
The country has reached for its backup. The evacuation numbers show how many people this fire season has already displaced. More than 33,000 people have been forced from their homes across the country. In Manitoba alone, roughly 17,000 were under evacuation orders, with people sheltering in Winnipeg, and some bussed as far as hotels in Niagara Falls, Ontario, hundreds of kilometers from home.
I was pretty impressed with his family. I don't, maybe I'm missing something,
hardest of all. As of the middle of this week, 9 First Nations had been affected by wildfire, 6 of them had been evacuated, and roughly 1,500 individuals had been displaced. The Canadian Armed Forces were
the other one said 2 of
them,
them, 2 of the Indian res were gone.
Frontline stories keep repeating across the map. Earlier in the season,
look how far up them fires go, man. You shitting me?
Stories keep repeating across the map.
That's an Arctic Circle.
West Kelowna in British Columbia ordered a fast tactical evacuation of about 800 people and hundreds of properties as a fire moved on the community. Across the country in Nova Scotia, the Long Lake Fire in the Annapolis Valley burned roughly 8,500 hectares and destroyed about 20 homes. These are the specific human ground truths sitting underneath the national statistics. And yet,
Nova
the overwhelming
Scotia
majority
had a fire.
of people who are about to be affected by these fires, none of this is what they will actually experience.
It's pretty wild because a lot of our rain heads
the
up there.
It is the
that
smoke.
misses me.
Most people touched by these fires will never see one. That is the strange defining feature of this entire event, and it is why this is international news instead of a regional emergency. Massive plumes of smoke have poured south across the border, degrading air quality for more than 100 million people across the United States, the Midwest, the Great Lakes.
Why are they showing the smoke going that way? I don't understand that.
Around New York, visibility dropped to somewhere between 2 and 5 miles. The skylines of New York City and Boston turned hazy and yellow-gray. Michigan issued a statewide
You remember,
air quality alert. Minnesota, Wisconsin,
remember Jules said that the other morning? It looks
the scale of the government response gives you a sense
yellow
of
out
how
there.
widespread the exposure was. On a single day this week, the United States had 181 air quality alerts and 18 dense smoke advisories active at the same time. And the
If
smoke
you
was
want to watch
forecast to get
something,
worse,
we'll go
not
watch
better.
it.
Across the Northeast,
Makes no
and
difference to
Mid-Atlantic
me
through
at
the end
this
of the
point.
week. So a person in Philadelphia or New York or Detroit steps outside, smells something metallic, notices the sun looks wrong, checks a warning on their phone, and every bit of that is the downstream signature of a fire burning 1,000 miles away in a forest they will never stand in. The smoke is the messenger, and it travels much
We
farther
mean
than the
saw
fire ever could.
someplace in
This is also
Boston.
the point where the internet fills up with a
We saw
different explanation,
someplace in Boston
and it
with
is worth addressing
smoke,
head on before moving past it.
or someplace
Every
in
large fire
Boston
season now
that
brings
was
a wave of
interesting.
viral
I'm not
claims that
sure
the
what you
fires were
mean.
set deliberately. A coordinated arson campaign, or in the stranger versions, fires started by some kind of directed energy weapon from the sky. The honest response is to separate the grain of truth. Kind of directed energy arson campaign, or in the stranger versions, fires started by some kind of directed energy weapon from the sky.
Well, you
The
know,
honest response
we watched this bullshit last year, and there was what, four fires that just ignited. Who was that? Do you remember who did that video? And this guy's mentioned about DEW, and he's mentioned about teams to go set shit on fire. Those were I remember Mike Morales was trying to say Forest Service helicopters dropping the ping pong balls. They were loaded with a flammable, and they pumped out of this thing. What they do is do a burn backfire, you know. But that video that we watched last year, and I can't remember, I want to say Ryan Hall, but I don't think it was him. I wonder if it was Richie from Boston or the other guy from Wyoming, Mike Decker. But they clearly had the heat deal on the satellite, and you could see it was like 1, 2, 3, 4, and there was no lightning in the around. So dry lightning is pretty bad. I dealt with quite a bit of dry lightning.
Is to separate the grain of truth from the fantasy. Yes, individual fires
Not a
do
drop of
sometimes have
rain,
human
lightning
causes,
like
and
a
arson
son
is
of a
real.
bitch.
But a continent-scale season of hundreds of simultaneous ignitions spread across thousands of kilometers of roadless northern forest is not something a person with a lighter produces. The energy that lights and spreads these fires comes from lightning, bone-dry fuel, and wind, the ordinary physics of a hot, parched terrain. There is no evidence of exotic ignition, and none is needed to explain what the drought and the heat are already doing. The frightening part of this story is not a hidden hand. It is how normal the ingredients are.
Did you know there are actually 3 levels of ham radio licenses in the United States?
Yeah, I
With
did
the level
know that.
1 technician license, you can communicate around your local community with a handheld like this one.
No, that's
Think of it
not
like
true.
a
That
super
you can
high-powered
communicate all around the world with those little handhelds now.
One number from this event stands out above all the others. Earlier this week, Toronto, a city of roughly 3 million people in one of the wealthiest countries on the planet, recorded the worst air quality of any major city on Earth. Not one of the worst, the worst. It sat at the top of the global live rankings, above the mega cities usually associated with hazardous smog, and the city issued an orange air quality alert. That is the smoke from northwestern Ontario's fires, where more than 180 wildfires were burning by midweek, with 136 of them in the northwest region alone. For a G7 city to top that list, even briefly, is an inversion of how we
I
expect
think
the
a
world
lot
to
of
work.
this is
It
AI.
tells you just how concentrated that plume became. It is the clearest possible signal that the air does not care about borders, wealth, or infrastructure.
Like there isn't a plume of smoke like this shit.
The air over 3
This is
million
all
people just as
AI.
easily over Toronto as over anywhere else. And then it will keep moving. There's a psychological weight to that.
You know what else I found? People in Ontario smelling metal. He just said that. You remember back in the day when them Canadian fires were going, everyone was saying they smell like plastic. All right. That's really a trip, man. I couldn't even imagine being in a train and you can't move forward. You're on a siding. You can't move backwards. And you're sitting, I think, on 1,500 gallons of fuel on each side of the train. Never mind the paint. That was something. Yeah, really scary. I got chased by a water spout once. Well, actually, it was a tornado confirmed in Rhode Island. I was out fishing, commercial fishing. And I pulled my pole up, and it was like, holy shit. The sky was green. So I packed my gear, and I started heading back. Halfway back, the boat was filling up. Open boat, too. Go pretty good, 25, 30 mile an hour. Boat was filling up with hail. I was so bleeding when I got back. I pulled in the dock and I made sure my bilge pump was working, but there was so much hail in it. It was a bad storm. Ross Perot. The final shift. Now, I wasn't a big fan of Ross Perot. I liked some of his stuff, but I was more of a Ron Paul. But I think Perot would have done a little bit better than the crap we put in there. Just my own opinion. Let's go see what this is about.
Forest Street, Indianapolis, Indiana. 1,400 steel workers stand between the furnace lines, called off their stations, expecting good news. Instead, a man in a suit steps to a microphone and tells them their jobs are moving to Monterrey, Mexico. The room detonates. And 24 years before that morning, a Texas billionaire named Ross Perot stood on a presidential debate stage and described it. The wages, the direction, even the sound it would make. The whole country heard him. The whole country laughed. Somewhere in that crowd in Indianapolis, a woman raised her phone and started recording. And within days, her shaking video would be watched 3 million times and reach into a presidential election. But this story does not begin in 2016, and it does not begin with a politician. It begins with fog on a train platform in 1902, and a farm boy who taught America how to make its own weather. And it ends with the coldest lesson in American manufacturing. Being right changes nothing if nobody cares. If you are watching this on your phone right now, tap the hype button on the screen. It costs you nothing, and it tells the algorithm that stories like this one deserve to be seen. And if you want to know which American brands still build here at home, the link to our field guide is in the description below.
All right, I don't know what the fuck he's showing me. It looks pretty neat. A Dremel. No extra. All right. Yeah, those are coming hard to come by now. They're built in China.
To understand what died in that room in Indianapolis, you have to understand what was born on a train platform in Pittsburgh more than a century earlier on a night thick with fog. Willis Carrier was 25 years old in 1902, a dairy farmer's only son from Angola, New York, 1 year out of Cornell with an engineering degree, and a $10 a week job at the Buffalo Forge Company, drafting heating plants. That spring, a printing company in Brooklyn came to Buffalo Forge with a problem nobody in the world knew how to solve. Humidity was destroying their work. On damp days, the paper swelled and the colored inks slid out of register, and a print run worth real money turned into garbage. The question landed on the new kid's desk. Carrier attacked it the way he would attack every problem for the next 50 years, with measurement, with data, and with a patience that unnerved the men around him. And then, one evening, waiting for a train in Pittsburgh, he stood staring into the fog rolling across the platform, and the answer walked out of the mist. Fog was air holding all the water it could carry. If he could pass air through a controlled spray of water, he could decide exactly how much moisture that air kept. He could manufacture weather. On July 17, 1902, he initialed the drawings for the machine that would cool the modern world. He was solving a printing problem. He had no idea he was about to change where Americans could live. But the company he worked for could not see what it had. In 1914, with war at Buffalo Forge decided an engineering department was a luxury, and they dissolved it. The man who invented air conditioning was shown the door by his own employer, 12 years after he handed them the 20th century. It would not be the last time an accountant looked at the men who built the future and saw only a cost. Carrier did not fight it. He walked out with 6 other engineers and one salesman he trusted, a man named Irvine Lyle, and together they scraped up $35,000 and founded the Carrier Engineering Corporation in 1915. In its first year, the little company signed 40 contracts. The men who had been cut as a cost line were about to build one of the great American industrial empires. The night that empire announced itself came in the summer of 1925 on Broadway. The Rivoli Theater in Times Square had hired Carrier to do something no one had done, cool a great movie palace full of people, and the opening was set for Memorial Day weekend. Carrier stayed up all night before the premiere, wrestling his 133-ton machine into life. And it was still catching up when the doors opened and 2,000 New Yorkers filed in from the heat, every one of them carrying a paper fan. In the crowd sat Adolph Zukor, the head of Paramount Pictures, the man whose verdict would decide whether cool air had a future in show business. Carrier stood in the wings and watched 2,000 fans fluttering in the dark like moths. Then, slowly, row by row, the fans began to drop into laps. The machine had caught the room. When the picture ended, Zukor walked out through the lobby, saw the engineers waiting, and did not make them ask. Yes, he said, the people are going to like it. Within 5 years, Carrier systems were cooling 300 theaters across America, and the summer blockbuster was born in the manufactured cold. The company never really stopped growing after that night. By 1968, the company Willis Carrier built needed room to grow, and it found that room on the west side of Indianapolis. A sprawling campus rose at 7,310 West Morris Street. Engineering offices and assembly halls under one long roof, built to make the furnaces and air handlers that would heat and cool the American home. Walk that floor in its prime, and you feel it before you understand it. The sheet metal line thumps like a slow heartbeat, presses stamping steel panels that will become furnace cabinets, and the sound arrives in your chest before it reaches your ears. The air smells of cutting oil and fresh galvanized steel, with a thin, sweet thread of solder drifting over from the heat exchanger stations. 1,400 men and women work this plant, 3 shifts, and the shift whistle divides the day, the way church bells once divided Sundays. Pick up a finished heat exchanger, and your arms know immediately why this work pays well. It is heavy, dense, built from American steel to outlive its warranty by decades. Year after year, trucks roll out the gate loaded with furnaces, headed for basements in Ohio and attics in Texas. And every unit carries the same quiet promise stamped into it. Somebody built this. Somebody stood at a bench in Indianapolis and built this with their hands. And the people on that line believed, the way you believe in gravity, that the company needed them exactly as much as they needed the company. The plant belonged to Carrier. But a company, even a great one, is a thing that can be bought. If you ever pushed open the heavy glass door of a movie theater on a July afternoon and felt that first wall of cool air wash over you, you know what Willis Carrier gave this country. If you ever stood in your grandmother's living room while she guarded the thermostat like a bank vault, if your father ever tapped the dial with 2 fingers and said, "Don't touch it," that machine humming outside the window was, as often as not, a Carrier. The name was so woven into American life that most people never thought about it at all. That is what total victory looks like. You become invisible. You become the air itself. and the invisible machine quietly redrew the map of the United States. Before air conditioning, the American South shut down every summer. Offices emptied, factories slowed to a crawl, deals waited for October. Then the cool air came, and everything changed. Phoenix grew from a desert town into a metropolis. Houston built blast towers straight into the Gulf heat. Florida filled with retirees who would never have survived an August there in their parents' generation. The great post-war migration to the Sun Belt, one of the largest movements of people in American history, rode on the back of the machine a farm boy from Angola, New York, had sketched on a foggy train platform. Even the government of the United States surrendered to it. In 1928 and 1929, Carrier's engineers cooled the chambers of the House and the Senate, and Congress, which had fled Washington every summer since the founding of the Republic, could finally stay and
They should
argue
never
in
put
comfort.
air conditioning in
Willis
the
Carrier
heat
himself
there.
did not live to see the full
We
harvest.
probably wouldn't be
He
so
died in
oppressed.
October of 1950, 73 years old, just as the post-war housing boom was about to carry his invention into every suburb in America. On one of his last visits, he went to a pottery plant in Syracuse to inspect the very first centrifugal chiller he had ever built, completed back in 1922. He found it still running. Nearly half a century later, Time magazine would name him one of the 100 most influential people of the 20th century. One farm boy listed alongside presidents and generals, because the historians finally understood what the engineers had always known. The modern world runs on controlled air. Computers cannot operate without it. Hospitals cannot function without it. The skylines of Houston and Singapore and Dubai are monuments to it. Through the post-war boom, the company he left behind kept climbing. Carrier put air conditioning into ships and hospitals and restaurants, then shrank it down and sold it to the American homeowner. And the little box in the window became as ordinary as the refrigerator. Detroit sold the car. Levittown sold the house. Carrier sold the summer. And the machines earned the name on their badge. Ask any old service technician which units from the 60s and 70s are still running in basements today, still heating houses through Indiana winters 50 years after they left the line, and the Carrier name comes up with a kind of reverence.
No, I
They were
know.
heavy. They were overbuilt. They were
You
serviced
want to
by a
go?
dealer
We can
network
go.
that treated the brand like a family inheritance, because for thousands of small heating and cooling businesses across the country, it was exactly that. By 2001, the company stood exactly where its founder had aimed it a century earlier, the largest maker of heating and air conditioning equipment on the face of the earth. 42,600 employees worldwide, and nearly $9 billion in yearly revenue.
Day 57 of wearing hollow compression socks. Here's what nobody tells you.
It's
I am wearing
all
hollow
right.
compression
I
socks
like the new
every single
poster,
day.
the
I
picture.
started this as an experiment.
I think it's pretty cool. I think he did a good job.
The Carrier name hung on the biggest dome in college sports. The brand was on rooftops in 170 countries. There is a particular sound American men of a certain age carry in their memory, and it belongs to this company. The late afternoon click of the condenser kicking on outside the den window. The low, steady hum settling in behind the ball game on the radio. It meant the house would be cool by supper. It meant your father's paycheck was doing its job. Millions of American childhood summers have that hum
Beautiful
running underneath
Ford
them like a
right
bass
there.
note, and almost nobody ever stopped to ask who built the machine making it. And in Indianapolis, at 7310 West Morris Street, the promise still held. The men and women on the furnace line earned $34 an hour with benefits, real wages, the kind that paid a mortgage and a truck loan and a kid's tuition at the same
34
time. Some of them
in
were second generation on that floor.
in
Their fathers had built furnaces in that
96.
building, and now they built furnaces in that building, and the work was hard and loud and hot, and it was enough. In an America where that bargain had already collapsed in Youngstown and Flint and 1,000 smaller towns, the Carrier plant on West Morris Street was one of the last rooms where the old deal was still being honored. A high school diploma, a strong back, a willingness to clock in, and in return, a life. The people on that line were not naive. They read the papers. They knew what had happened to steel, to textiles, to televisions. But Carrier was profitable. Carrier was growing. Carrier was the invisible machine inside the American summer, and you do not shut down the thing that builds the American summer. Except the company that owned that plant was no longer really Carrier at all. It had not been for a long time. To understand what happened on that factory floor in February of 2016, you have to go back to a summer morning in July 6, 1979, when the company Willis Carrier founded stopped belonging to itself. One decision changed everything, and it happened on July 6, 1979. United Technologies Corporation, the Hartford defense conglomerate built by a dealmaker named Harry Gray, a man who had already swallowed Otis Elevator and owned Pratt & Whitney jet engines and Sikorsky helicopters, and who was assembling American industry into a portfolio the way other men collect paintings, took Carrier Corporation in a hostile takeover so aggressive, it drew the attention of the federal government. Carrier fought it. Carrier lost. And from that morning forward, the company that invented air conditioning was no longer an engineering company that happened to make money. It was a line item that happened to make air conditioners. The men who ran it answered to Hartford, and Hartford answered to the stock price, and the stock price has no memory and no hometown. Within a decade, the new owners had cut deep into Carrier's white-collar ranks, and the engineers were now the cost line, exactly as they had been at Buffalo Forge in 1914. But this time, Willis Carrier was dead, and there was no one left to walk out the door and start again. And here, the story leaves the factory, because the next warning did not come from an engineer. It came from a stage. On the night of October 15, 1992, at a town hall debate in Richmond, Virginia, a voter stood up and asked the three men running for president how they would bring factory jobs home. One of them was Ross Perot, a self-made Texas billionaire who had built a computer
This is
services empire.
1992. In 50 minutes. Well, we'll let this run out. This was 1992. This was under that scumbag Bush.
From almost nothing, who had once hired a retired Green Beret colonel to break his own employees out of an Iranian prison, and who was running for the White House as an independent, because he believed both parties had already agreed to sell the American factory worker, and were only haggling over the price. His answer took less than a minute. If you can pay $1 an hour south of the border, he said, if you need no health care and no pollution controls and no pension, and if you care about nothing but making money, there will be a giant sucking sound going south.
Yeah.
The professionals rolled their eyes. The newspapers treated him like a sideshow. The deal he was warning about, the North American Free Trade Agreement, was signed into law the following year. Millions
Yeah, but
Americans had
I
heard the
thought
most
that
accurate
was
economic forecast of their lifetime.
China's favorite nation, trade status. I think came out of that, if my history's right.
Delivered on live television, with the volume turned all the way up, and the country filed it away as a punchline. It took 24 years for the punchline to arrive at 7310 West Morris Street. When it did, it came in a business suit, reading from a script. The best way to stay competitive and protect the business for the long term, the man told the assembled workers, is to move production from our facility in Indianapolis to Monterrey, Mexico. This is strictly a business decision. On the recording, you can hear the moment the words land. A collective sound that is not quite a scream and not quite a groan. The sound of 1,400 mortgages and car loans and tuition payments hitting the floor at once. The woman holding the phone was Lakeisha Austin, an assembly worker, and her shaking video traveled around the world before the shift ended. Juan Martin, a man who had spent years counseling troubled kids before he came to Carrier for a better paycheck, told a reporter, "I love working at Carrier," and the tense of the sentence was already wrong. Robert James, 57 years old, vice president of the union local, had to stand in that room and watch men his own age do the arithmetic of starting over at an age when nobody hires you. And up the road in Huntington, Indiana, 700 more workers at a sister plant got the same speech the same day. The old deal, the one that room had honored longer than almost anywhere in America, was canceled in one short announcement. Understand the logic, because the logic is the whole story. The man who signed off on it, Greg Hayes, chief executive of United Technologies, was under pressure from his own board over a stock price that was not climbing fast enough, and he explained the move to investors without a flinch. "We have been relentless in taking out costs," he said. The Indianapolis workers earned $34 an hour with benefits. The workers who would replace them in Monterey would cost $6 an hour. 34 against 6. The move would save $65 million a year. Pocket change inside a corporation the size of United Technologies. And on a spreadsheet, it was not even a hard call. It was the exact equation Perot had written on the air in 1992, executed to the decimal. But a spreadsheet has one column it cannot render. It cannot show a 57-year-old furnace builder explaining to his wife what happens now. It cannot show what a town loses when the last room where the old deal held finally goes dark.
Yeah, Detroit.
Then, for one strange winter, it looked like the story might reverse. Donald Trump had spent his campaign hammering the Carrier video at rally after rally. And weeks after winning the election, he flew to Indianapolis with Mike Pence to announce a deal.
I'm going to tell you what I know about this. So he brought back 600 workers to Carrier. So quote me. We're doing a memory test here. About a month or two later, after they started to get going, somebody interviewed the CEO and says, these people are just on borrowed time. We're going to be down to 150 workers. How's that? Because there was new machinery now to make condensers, as I understand the story. So this whole thing, really didn't do a whole lot for this country.
Some of the jobs would stay in exchange for a package of state incentives. Cameras filled the plant, handshakes on the line, mission accomplished. But read past the headline. 632 Indianapolis workers still lost their jobs on schedule, walked out through the same doors in 2 waves before Christmas of 2017. Huntington closed completely. And inside the plant the president had saved, the New York Times found the workers living like people in a house with a condemned notice on it, waiting, in their own words, for a shutdown that had merely been postponed until a politically convenient moment. The giant sucking sound had not been stopped. It had been rescheduled. If you want proof that this was never about one company, you only have to look across town. The same winter, Trump was shaking hands on the Carrier floor, a factory a few miles away called Rexnord, where 300 workers machined industrial bearings for $25 an hour, announced the same move to the same city in Mexico. The president tweeted his outrage at them too. Rexnord packed up and left anyway. No cameras, no deal, no rescue. Because a tweet is weather and the wage equation is climate. One company can be shamed, or subsidized, or saved.
I don't know if that was a map
the wage equation is
showing
One company can be
bailing.
shamed, or subsidized. Because a tweet is weather and the
Come
wage
on,
equation
stop,
is
please.
climate. No cameras, no deal, no rescue. Because a tweet is weather.
I worked in a building like that.
Rexnord packed up and left anyway. No cameras.
That was really
deal,
popular
no
when I
rescue.
was a young
Because a
kid.
tweet.
We went into a couple of used to buy clothes there, and they had them columns. Well, this ain't really telling me much. There's no, but you can see up here the Northeast has got that red. I don't know if that's where all the people bailed.
Is weather and the wage equation is climate. One company can be shamed, or subsidized, or saved for a news cycle. A system cannot. What happened in Indianapolis was not a villain making an exception. It was the machine working exactly as designed, in the open, on video, with the whole country watching. So be honest about what was lost, and how. Indianapolis did not lose that plant, because the workers got lazy. The people on that line were building some of the best furnaces in the world on the day the announcement came. It did not lose the plant, because the products stopped selling. Sales were climbing when the man in the suit picked up the microphone. It lost the plant to an arithmetic problem that Ross Perot wrote on the air on a national debate stage in 1992. $34 against $6. In a country that decided the man doing the math was the joke. And what?
Planning to move? Choose Pods,
All right,
the most
I'll
awarded
think
container
about
moving
it.
company. Whether you're moving across town or across the country.
And what does the name mean now? Ask the loyal customers who left one-star reviews when the news broke. Men who wrote that they had bought Carrier all their lives because it was American-made, and that their next furnace would be something else. The machines are still fine. The engineering is still sound. But a brand is a promise wearing a logo. And for a certain kind of American buyer, the promise on that badge quietly changed its meaning in February of 2016. Perot died in the summer of 2019. A footnote from a strange election most people only half remember. He did not live to see the last turn of the wheel. In 2020, Carrier was spun off from United Technologies and became a standalone company again, headquartered not in Syracuse, where Willis built it, and not in Indianapolis, where the furnaces were made, but in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida, a company now worth more than the old conglomerate ever paid for it, selling off divisions and buying back its own shares. And then came the strangest twist of all. By 2025, Washington had swung hard into a new era of tariffs on Mexican imports, and the furnaces coming north out of Monterey, the ones that used to be built on West Morris Street, now crossed the border into a wall of taxes. The jobs left America to escape American wages.
Yeah, but they didn't bring them back,
are being
did it?
punished for coming home. Perot told the
Tariffs
country
never
in
work.
1992
It's only a
exactly how long
tax
the
on
damage
you
would
and
run,
I.
and exactly what it would cost to fix. The country waited a quarter of a century, then reached for the crudest tool on the shelf. He was right on schedule. The answer was 25 years late. Before we close, if this story found you, know that it is not the only one. This
I
channel
remember
exists to
that
remember what
Carrier
American
story. I
factories
watch it
and to
very
name what
clearly
took them
because
apart,
I was hoping
one company
for
at a time.
a real
Subscribe,
positive
and we
change in this country.
on West Morris Street in Indianapolis,
You know,
outside the long
and here he is fucking sucking off the Jew.
Close your eyes. It is 1995, and the second shift is letting out. You can hear the presses still thumping inside like a heartbeat that never stops. Smell the cutting oil drifting through the fence.
That's all AI. A lot of that's all AI generated, but I like this channel. They cover some good stuff. The stuff on Singer was pretty good. I didn't finish playing that, but I watched the whole thing. Same ordeal. How are you going to compete with that? $6 an hour. No taxes. So That's just the way the story goes. We'll round it off to 2 minutes. We got 10 minutes. I'm just going to play some of this. This is weird. I haven't watched her in a while. I think she's having a real tough time with heat, according to her thumbnail.
It is insanely hot outside. And you know what happens when it's hot outside? Everything breaks and goes wrong. And that is exactly what's happened on the farm today. You want to see how really hot it is out here? You know it's hot outside when even the ground is 104 degrees. Yeesh.
And the sun is even going down.
Did you check the side of the building? Let's see here. Oh, 114. Let's check the trailer.
All right.
Comes in handy. We have.
Dude, are you still living in the last century? Still using those old methods just to dig a hole? It's unsafe, a massive waste of time, and could completely ruin the whole piece of wood. Check this out. It's a total game changer. You can cut almost any shape imaginable. It's titanium coated, featuring a diamond tip bit on top and precision
I'll keep that in
saw.
mind.
Comes in handy. We have a Grant-sized hammer.
Oh, they're going to the.
Leg strength, arm strength, back strength.
I think they're
Ready?
going to change the irrigator.
Okay. Okay, ready? 1. To the field.
I drove by here.
I was thinking I'd have the white one.
I drove by here like 13 round trips.
To stop between tractors, pickups, and running into town.
Here's your commercial, Leslie.
Yeah. Gil.
Gil, yeah. Min and Gil. They're really holding down the fort over there.
I'm so happy. They're earning their keep around here. Now, I may be a bit biased, but I do think this is one of the prettiest times of year.
I think your corn looks good for someone that's so blazing hot.
We're not going to get lost here. On a real
The people traveling west through Nebraska really describe how difficult it was.
all this pollen, and maybe some of these bugs. That's the culprit for my runny nose. Are we ready to see if our invention works? Well, I don't know if we can call it an invention. I think people have been carrying stuff like this for a long time.
You guys know what these are?
You get to guess in 1, 2, 3.
Drop a comment down below.
All right. Grant, tell the audience, what are these?
Everyone's got a guess. I'm not spilling my secret.
Come on, you guys. Let's get to it.
I've got lots of pockets to carry stuff.
This is pretty freaky, though, if you think about it, walking in there.
These straps will
Get lost coming out. And no grab her titties. Come on, dude. PG, PG.
But thank goodness we put some bug spray on because these skeeters are positively swarming. You want to see how hot it is out here? Tad bit muddy, to say the least. The goal is going to be not slipping.
What, I don't understand this. I thought they were seriously having some trouble
The nubbies on
with
it.
the heat.
But
They got plenty of water there.
broken.
They got to change these things. What a
See,
pain
there's
in
a little
the
bit
ass.
of leakage. This gearbox is no good and will no longer spin this tire.
This whole thing's like a 1/4 mile long. Irrigator.
And the top of the corn plant is taller than the tip of his
Look at
fingertips.
that.
It's tall.
and it's muggy out here.
Yeah, I hate to call you out, Grandpa. You're looking a little sweaty.
I'm sweaty. I think it's like
And over the course of our relationship, of knowing each other, dating, being engaged, and now being married, how many gearboxes and tires have we changed together?
how many sockets do you have in your pockets? Oh, I forgot the extension.
We'll go back and
Go get the extension and the shovel.
Okay, I'll be right back. Through the field we go. It should be worth noting that this is a 160-acre field in a square, and we're in the middle of it. So how far does that mean we have to walk? Somebody who's good at math and calculation, the pivot is parked at a bit of an angle, and we have to walk to...
These two went down to Matt's off-road games.
After a few poor trips, I thought I'd probably get the wrong wrench.
Dude, this thing is not coming off with the wrench. We're gonna get like a torch. This thing is
torch. Oh, our problem is that won't spin. And look at how broken that is.
No way! Look at this.
What?
Oh, the gearbox isn't out.
What?
The drive shaft is just stripped. See, it's moving fine. Look at the...
What's this is moving?
Yeah. So this shaft is turned by this motor, and then this shaft turns this. But if this is...
Wait, so if I move, will this move?
Oh, this gearbox is completely fine.
You're kidding me.
No.
So we don't have to take this gearbox off, and we didn't have to carry that all the way in.
We'll be out of here in 30 minutes. Okay. We didn't have to take the tire off. It'll make it easier, but we didn't have to.
Okay, change of plans.
Yeah, give me the 7/16 out of your pocket.
You heard the man. 7/16. Is it in this pocket? Ooh.
It's in your upper pocket.
Oh, I didn't even look there.
My mobile toolbox.
9/16.
I can't believe they don't have their shit together. It's all basically standard.
Just
you just.
You see, my good people.
Oh, no way.
Hey, good news. We brought every possible wrench out here.
Get the adjustable one.
This one? The Laura size one?
I can make that one into a 9/16. Nice.
Perfect. These boots have been through a lot of puddles.
Look like your place, Leslie.
Yeah, we're getting something out.
I love when we problem solve together.
Actually, where's that baby hammer at? All right, use that baby hammer.
Laura-sized hammer to the rescue. Almost got it. Think.
No, not that money.
Keep that one up so it doesn't fall out of the other side.
I know you had muddy days.
Have you heard about pop-on siding?
Oh my
Need
gosh,
50
man.
homeowners in your area to trial this radically simple new siding service. Get this at no cost to try. This service is part of a program they're running.
You pay attention to that commercial. It's like, wait a minute.
Now we take this old junky one off and put that new one on.
Yeah, we can go. Thanks for hanging out.
Line up the holes.
This is what goes on in the farm.
Just right. Now we can fit the bolt.
Be careful
through the
around
hole.
them things. And
attach the nut.
this thing is huge. This thing is really, wait, I don't know, quarter mile long.
Bad idea, but we're doing it anyways.
Well, you can't get the nut on, then you'd be bitching about that. So do it right. All right. I think we had enough of that. You get to an idea what goes on a corn farm. Hope you enjoyed the night. And I might just give these to Josh. He can figure out how to, because there aren't no numbers here. I just don't understand this. I bought the wrong one. Have a good night, Leslie. We'll see you in the morning. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for the new picture, too. I think it's cool.